welcome back to the 4-String Strummer, the channel. It's all about ukuleles. Today we're going to be working on a classic old-time tune called Cripple Creek. Now, I'm going to be doing this one on the banjo ukulele today, but you, of course, as usual, can play this on any ukulele you want. Now, this one just sounds awesome on the banjo ukulele. This is one of those songs that, you know, when you sit down and you play your ukulele, you kind of have those favorite ones. This is my #1 song to just play and enjoy. So stick around. We're going to teach this from a really basic beginner level all the way through to an advanced level. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get into it. So if you're not familiar with this tune, here's how it goes. I'll play it through. I'll do a verse and a chorus just to give you an idea what it sounds like. You can get it into your ear. Then we'll talk about the chords. When the chord changes come along, then we'll get into some strumming, and then we'll get into the more advanced stuff, the embellishments and some different picking stuff. All right, so here's how the song goes. Starts in C. Well, I got a girl at the head of the creek, going up to see her middle of the week. Lips as sweet as any wine, wraps herself around me like sweet potato vine. Going up Cripple Creek, going in a whirl, going up Cripple Creek to see my girl. Going up Cripple Creek, going in a run, going up Cripple Creek to have a little fun. All right, now, I did a little bit of extra stuff, so that wasn't exactly the beginner level, but that gets the tune into your ear. Let's talk about the chords now. So it starts in C. C. I got a girl F ahead of the C, going up to see her G7 C. C, C, F and C, 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 G7 and C, 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 C and C, 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 G7 and C, 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 C and C, 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 G7 and C. All right, that's the chords. Okay, let's talk about some strumming now. We'll start off with a real basic one and work our way up. Here we go. So this works great with our paintbrush strum, folks. So those of you that are new, you hit it with your thumb on the top string, just like that, and then you brush. And you can brush all the strings if you want, or you can just brush the bottom 3, okay? Well, I got a girl at the head of the creek, going up to see her middle of the week. Lips as sweet as any wine, wraps her stuff around me like a sweet potato vine. Going up Cripple Creek, going in a whirl, going up Cripple Creek to see my girl. Going up Cripple Creek, going in a run, going up Cripple Creek to have a little fun. All right, nice and easy. So the next little thing that you can add in as far as your strumming goes is, wait for it, the sledgehammer, of course. So sledgehammer, for those of you that are new, you just hit it with your thumb and brush it with your finger, same as you do with paintbrush, but you come back up with your thumb. So it's like this. Instead of, you go. Okay, so it's 3 parts. Hammer, sledge, hammer, sledge, hammer. Okay? Now, you don't have to use this strum all the way through the song. You just kind of pepper it in every once in a while. Mix it in with your paintbrush strum. So here's what it might sound like. I got a girl at the head of Okay, so it's up to you where you want to throw those extra little flicks in, and it just adds a little extra bounce to the sound of your strumming. All right, it just that little accent is really the way to think about it. If you do it too much, it's like too much spice in the sauce kind of a thing. If you don't put enough, then it kind of is a little bit on the bland side. That's one way I like to think about it. All right, let's jump up to the next little level now. Here we go. So added on to those 2 strums, you can put in a little embellishment. And the embellishment that you will want to use is hammer-ons. And so what I do is I just kind of delay when I drop my chords down. Okay, when I go to my G7, you'll see me boom. When I go to my F, you'll see me drop it after I've already started the strum. And that's what gives it sort of that bending kind of a banjo-y sound. Again, whether you're using a banjo ukulele or a regular ukulele, it'll still give you that twangy kind of a country banjo sound. All right, let me play it and I'll start to throw these little hammer-ons in, and you'll hear how it adds to the music. I'll play it without first, and then I'll start dropping in the hammer-on. So it goes like this. Okay. You hear how it sounded different? Okay, so that's a nice sort of an entry-level embellishment that you can start to put in if you want to get that old-time sort of bluegrassy country kind of a sound. All right, give that a whirl. We're going to do a playthrough at the end, and we're going to be able to put all these pieces together. And then you just play it at the level that you're at, and you'll be able to play along with the song. All right, let's move up to the next level now. Here we go. All right, so for the verse, you can go like this. Let's play it real plain here first of all. So it's just going to be C and G7 going back and forth like this. Going up Cripple Creek, going in a whirl, going. All right, now if you want to jazz it just a little bit, you can start to use your second finger here at the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. So here's what I'll do. Watch, I'll really exaggerate. It's just kind of a hammer on. Again, just going to drop it in here. Okay, so you can see how it adds that extra little note in there. Not difficult. This is like that hammer and anchor method thing that I keep talking about. So we anchor that C chord in there. Going up Cripple Creek, going in a run, going up Cripple Creek to have a little fun. Instead of just staying on the C all the way through, you get that little extra hammer on there. All right, now let's talk about some more hammer-ons that we can do during the verse as well if you want to advance a little bit more. Okay, so let's take the verse part now, and I'll show you how you can add a few little hammer-ons here and get yourself a nice instrumental, especially when you put it together with what we just did on the chorus part there, just adding that 2nd finger. All right, here we go. All right, so how are we doing this? Let's have a look. So we start off with just a thumb strum, and as we strum down, we drop our C chord into position. So it's a hammer-on. So you strum it, and then you drop it. Just like that. And then you're going to follow that with a 2nd strum once your C chord is in place. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to add our 2nd finger here above the 3rd finger. Okay, at the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And you just hit it with your thumb. Then you lift your 2nd finger and you hit that 2nd string open. One more time from the beginning. Now we go down here to the 1st finger, this little piggy. Goes to mark it here at the 1st fret on the 2nd string. and then you drop your second finger on the 4th string at the 2nd fret. So if you look, basically I've got an F. All I've done is, okay? But I'm just stepping my way down and back up with my fingers, okay? Watch again. 1st fret on the 2nd string. Then it's my F chord basically, right? And I'm just hitting that top string, okay? And then I just play my C and go to G7, back to C, again. And those are just sledgehammer strums. And if you want to, for the thumb part, to stabilize your thumb, your hand, you can kind of hold your fingers here. Whatever you want to do, just kind of grip it there. See how I do it? Okay, and that's the detail of how you can get all the way through and get that really cool little melody thing going on. Show you a couple of other little things that are going to add to the sound, little embellishments. All right, here we go. All right, so another little embellishment or accent strum that you can put on is to use your double strum once in a while. So double strum goes like this. So it's down with the thumb, up with the finger, down with the finger, up with the thumb. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Right? So you don't want to overdo it with that strum because it starts to sound too busy. But every once in a while, you just zip that in there and it sounds like, oh my goodness, you're going so fast, right? And it really adds to your sound. Okay, give that a whirl as well. All right, let's go another step here and try our clogging strum as part of this deal. All right, so what the clogging strum does is it gives you sort of a rhythm. And you're basically doing a paintbrush strum. But when you do the brush part, you're coming down on the top of the instrument here. Now this will work with a banjo ukulele or a standard ukulele, either way. Let me just play it. I'm going to play it in a regular style without the clogging strum, and then I'm going to switch over it and you'll hear the sound. Now one thing to watch for is you'll see normally when I'm playing around here, kind of just above where the neck joint is. When I do the clogging strum, I slide it down a little bit more. And you do the same thing on a standard uke. You kind of go from here down and you're going to be clogging your fingers kind of on the upper bout here like that. Okay? So watch for that and you'll hear the sound will change as well. It's a little bit warmer up here and it's a little bit more in your face when you get down closer to the bridge. All right? So here we go. I'm going to play it normal. Then I'll do the clogging strum. You can hear it. I'm hitting here. You can hear that bit more of a oomphy kind of a sound to the strings, as well as I'm getting closer down towards the bridge. One more time. All right, so what am I doing here to get that sound? What I'm doing is basically, again, just a paintbrush strum, right? I'm just hitting it with my thumb and I'm brushing with my fingers, but I'm kind of whacking the top of the instrument. And I call it the clogging strum because it always makes me think of people, you know, they do those clog dance kind of things. But the other thing that I'm doing is I'm actually alternating where I'm starting with my thumb. Okay, so that's what's giving you that bing bong kind of a sound rather than just the regular strumming, okay? Okay, so what are we doing? We start on the second string, and what this will do, even if you don't use this as a part of the way that you're going to play this song, it's a great exercise to work through because it gives you that awareness without gawking at all your strings of where your thumb is, where your strings are, and you start to get a feel for it rather than, you know, it becomes more of a feel thing rather than a visual thing. All right, so we're going to start on the second string here, and we're just going to, just like that, like a paintbrush. Then we go up to the third string and strum. Back to the second string. Go back up to the third string, but this time second string, but this time we're going to drop our second finger at the third fret. Okay, one more time. We go to the G7, and when we go to the G7, we hit the third string. Then we hit the third string again, even though we're back to the C. Okay, again, start on the second string and third string, second string, second string. Third string, that's the one you want. Third string again. And you can add that clogging strum in to any song at any point that you want. Again, not something that you want to overdo, but it's another little spice that you can throw into the sauce. All right. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to work on a little bit of our speed now. All right, here we go. So a little tip on speed. One of the things that I really notice, like when I'm working with students, etc., is that a lot of people move their hand too much, this hand. They get it flicking and flailing around. You don't want to be bending here at the elbow so much. Even at the wrist, there's not a lot here. Like, I'll play this and watch. My hand stays pretty close to the instrument here. It doesn't get all the way up and down. Okay, so don't get this big action going where you're flicking and flailing, because that really slows you down. Number one. Number two, the other thing that you're going to want to do is do not rush this. You're better to play this slowly, and I know this sounds like boring advice, but trust me on this. Pick one part of this song, the sound of this tune, and get it. And work your way up the steps of the ladder as far as the actual tune goes and where you start to drop your fingers, okay? Don't try to play the whole thing. Play as much of it as you can and then stop. Go back to the beginning, because that's going to really cement the whole thing in, as you progress. Add one note at a time. Go back to the beginning and work your way back up that ladder again. And don't do it quickly. Just play it slowly through, okay? After a while, your fingers are going to know where to go. Then you're going to be able to start to slowly amp up the speed a bit at a time, or add another element to your strumming. Okay? The thing that I see a lot is that people try to do too much all at once, and then they get frustrated because they're trying to work on 5 different things. Pick one part, whether it's I'm just going to work on getting that sledgehammer strum part down. Just work on that. Don't worry about the lyrics. Don't worry about anything else other than making sure that you nail down that thing. So you don't beat yourself up over all of these other things that maybe you're not getting 100% correct. All right? That's the biggest key, as far as I'm concerned, to building up your speed, are those couple of little tips. All right? Let's play the song through. And I want to focus today not so much on the words, because there's a million words to this song. Some of them are a little on the raunchy side. So we're just going to do, basically, I'll put up the words for the first verse and the chorus, and we're just going to play it through. And I want to give you guys a lot of opportunity to play around with the different parts of the instrumental and the different parts of the strumming. All right, let's give it a try. So one more tip on building up your speed. In one of the 4 corners is the settings thing that looks like a little gear. Click on that and you can go in there and set the playback speed. So you can start at 75% if you want to, if that's where you're comfortable. And then you can go in and set a custom speed as well. So what I would suggest is, maybe start at 75%, and then put it up 5% at a time on the custom settings, rather than going from 75% up to 100%. Just get that gradual slope in there for your progress. All right, so we're going to focus on technique and the different strums, the instrumental part, embellishments, etc. So I'm not going to get into going through 27 verses of this song. There's all kinds of verses, and you can easily look them up online. But yeah, let's really focus on the playing here, okay? So lots of opportunity to try out the skills that you're working on. Here we go. Well, I got a girl at the head of the creek, going up to see the middle of the week. Lips as sweet as any wine, wraps herself around me like sweet potato vine. Going up, Cripple, going in a whirl, going up, Cripple, to see my girl. Going up, Cripple, going in a run, going up, Cripple, to have a little fun. Do you want to go faster? I have to say, that's got to be my favorite song to play. Folks, if you're enjoying this content, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to join us on our Facebook group, the 4 String Strummers. Lots of great folks on there to interact with, And if you would like to get your own Duke Banjolele, make sure that you click on the link down below to get the 4-string strummer deal. All right, folks, until we see you next time, keep smiling, keep strumming, and have fun. Maybe with one of these videos right over here. Bye for now.